Annette Funicello became the face of innocence for a generation, an embodiment of youthful joy and purity through a sweet smile, a graceful dance step, and eyes full of innocence. Her image was a symbol of post-war reassurance, a vision of idealized childhood in a time when the world sought stability. On screen, Annette was the quintessential Disney girl, the kind of figure that parents invited into their homes as a representation of safety. However, beneath this perfect image was a woman constrained by the very purity that made her beloved. In the eyes of the public, Annette could never show weakness or imperfection. She was locked in the mold of the flawless Disney star, a mold that did not allow for vulnerability or mistakes. For Annette, the price of being adored was the suppression of her humanity. Her story is more than just that of a Disney icon. It is the journey of a woman constantly striving to preserve an image that never allowed her to be anything less than perfect. Early life and the formation of Annette's image. Born in 1942 in Utica, New York, Annette grew up in a working-class family, her father running a small auto repair shop, and her mother, Virginia Albano, raising the children at home. In a quiet, industrial town, life was simple and measured by work hours rather than public attention. When Annette was 4, her family moved to Southern California in search of a better and more stable life, like many post-war families. In their Italian-American community, children were taught to maintain harmony, to be polite, and never to stand out. For Annette, these unspoken rules formed the foundation of her existence. She was a quiet, shy child who often took a back seat in social settings, preferring to remain unnoticed. Dance and music were her outlets, but they were never about personal expression. They were tools for maintaining grace and control over her emotions in a world that demanded obedience and propriety. Becoming the Disney girl, Annette's start in show business. At the age of 12, Annette performed in Swan Lake at the Starlight Bowl in Burbank, California. This was a routine performance for her, something to be completed with precision, not destiny or fame. But when Walt Disney attended the show and invited her to audition for the Mickey Mouse Club, Annette was confused. She had never imagined herself as someone to be discovered. The invitation felt like another responsibility, another expectation to meet. In 1955, Annette joined the Mickey Mouse Club, initially in the background, just another member of the ensemble cast. Her role was simple: stand in the right place, follow the script, and step aside when it was someone else's turn. The audience's response to her, however, shifted the dynamics. Fan mail flooded the studio, increasing rapidly, making Annette the most popular Musketeer. For Annette, this didn't feel like a victory, but another duty to manage, leading her to sign autographs and answer letters according to studio guidelines. Managing fame, Annette's quiet journey through stardom. As Annette's popularity grew, so did the responsibility she felt to maintain her image. By the end of the first season of the Mickey Mouse Club, fan mail to Annette exceeded 6,000 letters a month. The studio, recognizing her growing appeal, began placing more focus on her. But Annette did not celebrate her newfound prominence. She adhered to the studio's rules, signing autographs, writing letters, and maintaining a consistent, proper image. Her role continued to expand, but there was no public acknowledgement of her growing fame. Annette was the epitome of the Disney ideal: reliable, proper, and composed. In 1958, when the Mickey Mouse Club wrapped, Annette did not experience the joy of the end of an era, but rather the sorrow of losing a routine she had known since childhood. However, her work was far from over. Annette quickly transitioned into music, a natural next step arranged by the studio that allowed her to maintain her pristine image while expanding her career. The transition to music, Annette's continued journey under control. Annette's transition into music began in 1959 with the release of her hit song, Tall Paul, which reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100. This success pushed her into the teen pop market, but it did not change the way she was managed. Annette's workload became even more intense, more recording sessions, television appearances, and promotional tours. Yet her image remained tightly controlled. Success came quickly, but Annette had no personal input into how her career evolved. It was during this period that Annette made her first attempt to break free from the structured system that had defined her career. She filed a lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company, challenging her exclusive contract, arguing that she had been too young to make such a binding commitment. However, the court ruled in favor of Disney, reaffirming the control the company had over her career. Annette's attempt at autonomy was quickly silenced, and her career continued on its preordained path. Annette's struggle for independence and legal challenges. In 1959, Annette took a bold step by filing a lawsuit to void the exclusive contract she had signed with Disney when she was still a minor. Her legal challenge was rooted in the claim that the contract was invalid due to her age and lack of independent legal representation at the time. Despite the clear imbalance of power between her and the entertainment giant, the court ruled in favor of Disney, effectively closing the door on any legal chance for Annette to gain control over her own career. Disney, confident in its position, made no public statements about the lawsuit, and business continued as usual. Annette's silence after the verdict spoke volumes. There was no rebellion, no confrontation, just a return to her duties, as if nothing had happened. The legal system had spoken, and Annette's desire for independence was put to rest, reaffirming the control Disney had over her life. The continued success and control. Annette in the music and film industry. Despite the setback, Annette's career continued to flourish. In 1960, she released more hits, including Otomo and Pineapple Princess, both of which reached high positions on the Billboard charts. Her presence in the music scene grew, and her songs became regular fixtures on radio playlists. Yet, the framework around her career remained unchanged. Disney continued to position Annette in family-friendly films, reinforcing her wholesome image. The roles were not meant to transform her career, but to solidify her place as the epitome of the perfect American girl. As the years passed, Annette's film roles increased, yet her place within Disney's carefully constructed world never shifted. Her songs and films were produced in rapid succession, keeping her at the center of a machine that controlled her image and career trajectory, never giving her the space to explore personal freedom or creativity outside of the mold. The Beach Party films, a new phase in Annette's career. In 1963, Annette starred in Beach Party, a low-budget film produced by American International Pictures, AIP. The film, though modest in budget, became a surprise hit and marked a shift in Annette's career toward mass-market cinema. However, this transition was not a personal reinvention. It felt more like a new system borrowing her familiar face for a different kind of audience. The film's success was not due to Annette's transformation, but because it fit into the rapidly expanding youth culture. Her image remained unchanged, and she continued to be the reliable, wholesome star in a new medium. The production style of AIP, which operated at a faster pace with more market-driven formulas, did not allow for personal creativity or artistic growth. Annette's place in the film industry was solidified, but she was still very much a part of a system that dictated her every move. Annette's enduring image and the cost of perfection. Throughout her career, Annette was expected to maintain an image of perfection, a symbol of innocence and propriety. This unyielding pressure to be perfect took a significant toll on her. She was never allowed to show vulnerability or make mistakes, and her silence became a necessary part of her existence. As her career progressed, so did the demands placed on her. Despite the challenges she faced, Annette remained silent, keeping her pain hidden and continuing to fulfill the role expected of her. It wasn't until much later in life, when her health began to decline, that she was forced to confront the stories others had been telling about her. Annette's journey reveals the cost of fame, especially for those who are adored for their purity but never allowed to be human.